Okay, so the first factoring method we're going to visit is factoring a difference of two squares. So let me just look at the problem. It says factor 4x squared minus 25. Alright, what's the first step of factoring again? Factor out the greatest common factor, which in this case, it's just going to be 1. So we can ignore that. Alright, second step, decide what factoring method you want to use. So just kind of take a moment and then observe what type of numbers that you have. You have 4, you have x squared, and you have 25. Would you guys agree that all of those are square numbers? Yes, that's good. So we have square here and square here. Also, the fact that we have minus in the middle indicate that this is difference of two squared. The method, the title is exactly the same thing. So we can use difference of two squares. How did you learn to do that in Algebra 1? Let's visit it. So when you have a squared minus b squared, you can factor that as a plus b times a minus b. So you're going to write the root and then just put the plus and put the minus there. So let's go. First, you want to write it as square root of each number first. So 4x squared is 2x quantity squared. You good with that? Yes. Then what about 25? 25 is 5 squared. So now once you have written that as a root, go ahead and write it as a factor form. You add two roots together and you subtract those two together, so we get 2x plus 5 times 2x minus 5. After you're done with that, always double check it. Can I factor this further? Is there any greatest common factor here? Is there any other different factor can I use? Answer is no. Answer is no, so you're done factoring. Also, one more thing you need to check is if you ever factor out the greatest common factor in the first step, make sure to include that as the answer. Obviously, this one, the greatest common factor is 1, so we don't have to worry about it. But sometimes you have to worry about it. Okay, so let's just do one problem at the bottom. We're going to do the one in the middle. Factor minus 3x cubed. First step, factor out the greatest common factor. Well, let me go back a little bit. So when you look at it, some of you might remember what the note said in the top. It says, number 1 rule of factoring is before anything is done, the term must be ordered from greatest to least degree. So this one is not ordered in that way yet. So I'm going to show you two different ways. For those who would like to order it negative 3x cubed plus 12x and then start the factoring, or those who are gonna ignore and then see what happened. Okay, so let's start from here. What is the greatest common factor of this? Would it be 3x? Actually, greatest common factor of this problem will be negative 3x. Why? Well, notice the leading coefficient is negative, so make sure you have that negative in the front as well. So once you factor out the greatest common factor, we have x squared minus 4. Now look at inside of the parentheses. This is a square, that's a square number, and we have minus in the middle, so this is difference of 2 squared, which is x squared minus 2 squared, so I get negative 3x times x plus 2 times x minus 2. Okay? Alright, what if you do that? What is the greatest common factor of this problem? It will be probably just 3x, since your first term has a positive. Then we have minus squared, or an x squared, and then you have the middle. I can write the square minus x squared. We get 3x times 2 minus x times 2 plus x. Well, look at these two for a minute. So technically they should be the same answer, which I see it and some of you might see it. But others might be like, they look obviously very different. What are you talking about? Well, they're the same thing. I will show you. First, x plus 2 is same as 2 plus x. So we're good. 3x is same as 3x. Now, what are the differences? This one have negative x minus 2 left, and this one have 2 minus x left. So I need to convince you that these two are the same thing. Do you guys see how they're the same thing? If I were to distribute this negative here, I get negative x plus 2, which is same as 2 minus x. Same thing. So it does not really matter what you do. I will count both of them as a correct answer. So guest teacher, please pause this video and then let all the classmates work out the top problem and the bottom problem with their partner for 2 minutes and then come back to this video. Alright, so for those who did it with a partner, just quickly check the answer. Whoops. Alright, the top one, Greatest common factor is 2, x squared minus 4. We get 2 times x plus 2 times x minus. That's the answer. And the bottom one, 2 different methods for those who reorder. First common factor is 3x, so we have x squared minus 25, that is x squared minus 5 squared, negative 3x, x plus 5 times x minus 5. Or you can just factor out 3x, 25 minus x squared, we get 3x times 5 minus x times 5 plus x. Either ones are fine. Okay? Alright, now look at the right side. So the left ones are easier because you only had squares, easy squares that you know of. Look at the one in the second. Factor 2x to the 4th power minus 32. When you look at it, some students are like, 2 is a square number. I can't factor. What do you want me to do? Well, before you do this method, what should be done first? You need to factor the greatest common factor of 2 first. Then get x to the 4th power minus 16. And now you look at x to the 4th power minus 16. 16, x to the 4th power. Let me ask you this question. Can you write those two numbers as square minus square? Answer is yes, right? Alright, how do I write it? Well, x to the 4th power is x square square. And 16 is 4 squared, right? Okay, so we can use difference of 2 squared. This becomes 2 times x squared plus 4 times x squared minus 4. Are you good so far? Alright, and then pause for a second. Can you do anything further on each of the factor to factor further completely? Yes or no? Nope. Yes or no? Oh, that's a square, so can I do something? No. Sum the plus. Sum of 2 squares is not factorable, so don't get tricked by it. Now look at this one. That's a square, 4 is a square number, and minus in the middle. So in fact, you need to factor this further. As difference of 2 squared. So final answer. 2 times x squared plus 4 times x plus 2 times x minus 2. So always factor everything as much as possible. Okay? I'm going to give you and your partner 2 minutes again or 3 minutes. So pause the video and then do the bottom 2 problems together. And then we'll check the answer together. So guest teacher, please pause it. Alright, so hopefully that wasn't that bad. Greatest common factor of that problem is 2x. We have x to the 4th power minus 16. Ooh, it's exactly the same problem, isn't it? Alright, so x squared squared minus 4 squares. 2x times x squared plus 4. X squared minus 4. 2x times x squared plus 4. X plus 2 times x minus 2 is the answer. Last one, you can reorder it. You don't have to. Greatest common factor, I'm going to just make it as 2x to the 3rd power. Then we have 1 minus 4x to the 6th power, which can be written as square minus square. 1 square minus 2x cubed square, guys. Why is this cube here? When you have exponent raised to exponent, you multiply. So 3 times 2 go back to 6. So be careful here. Alright, then we get 2x cubed, 1 minus 2x cubed times 1 plus 2x cubed. Can I factor this further? Well, that's a cubic. 2 is not a cubic number. Nope. Can I factor this further? Nope. 2 is not a square nor a cube, blah, blah, blah. So that right here is the answer. Okay, so that's the first method called factoring difference of two squares.